It's a conversation you hear in every office. If you won the lottery, what would you buy first? So here's our list, which sadly doesn't include a Caribbean island in case we don't win quite that much. Spend, spend, spend. We're still throwing away cash like there's no tomorrow. And in case you're lacking inspiration, our news headlines this week are all about lottery winners' cars.
Now, most lottery winners say a new car is likely to be their first purchase, and interestingly, most of them seem to head for the nearest Mercedes showroom when the time comes. But not all of them do, and not many do the other thing. Amazingly, not everyone would rush out and buy a Ferrari the second the cheque landed on the mat.
We're spending our imaginary lottery winnings, so have a look at this.
What most of us dream about when we imagine the day we step forward to collect the giant cheque is buying something that has a tradition of excellence, something that will strike a chord with everyone who sees it, will have a connection with the past and a way into the future, something that will give new money the look and feel of old money. It would be the motoring equivalent of a stately home, a car with a past, a car that will outlast you and be passed down to the next generation, still oozing character and refinement. It would be a car that was handmade by master craftsmen and women in the same careful, loving way its predecessors have been made for almost a century. It would be, as we have said before, the only car in the world in which wood trim would seem natural and correct. In other words, it would be a Bentley. We'll have a car that will make us feel like $1 million, but cost less than half of that. So yes, we certainly do enjoy the choosing and the specifying. But we think we'd be even happier at the moment of collection. And happier still as we drove away in our brand new Bentley for the first time. And the next time. And the next. And every time. And that's really the reason we've got this thing about spending our hard-won winnings on a proper Bentley. We think every drive would be like that first one. We think that a car like this is so different, so special, and thanks to clever specifying by us, so unique, that every time we drove it, it would remind us of the day we'd won the lottery. And in case you were wondering, a Rolls-Royce is too obvious, too Simon Cowell, too Piers Morgan. The Bentley would give us the refined air of landed gentry. There's a hotel in Hong Kong that owns a fleet of rollers. That's why we wouldn't have a Rolls-Royce. It would be too vulgar. It would make us look like lottery winners. Now, here's something else all lottery winners do with their cash. They jet off to warm and sunny holiday locations. We're in Malta right now, but we haven't come here on holiday. We've come here to take delivery of the other thing we've heard a good few winners talk about: a nice new boat. And boat is absolutely the right nautical term, apparently, for anything that looks small in the harbour. Even 45-footers, which can cost around £250,000, are hardly large, and most motorhomes will have more room inside. So a boat is seldom a bargain and very much comes under the heading of a luxury purchase. And the boat market got hammered in the same way as the auto industry during the recession, with sales down around 30%. So prices are down too at the moment, although that's hardly a consideration for those of us with lottery millions to splash out. And the market is changing somewhat as well. It's moving towards the growing number of people who aren't multi-millionaires but want a boat anyway, perhaps to spend just part of their share of a syndicate win on.
Is a new boat design in particular for the European market that include a cabin with a 2-bed inside, a toilet, a kitchen, and in particular for our hot temperature with the generator and air conditioning.
The boat in question is the Emotion Charm 27. That's 27 feet, of course, and it fits into a new area of boat building called pocket yachts, and it reflects absolutely what's been happening in the car industry. People downsize their ride, but they don't want to live like paupers, so they choose a smaller car that has the same luxury features as their bigger one used to. Not a problem for us in this case, because we never owned a boat before our number came up, but it's nice to know that something this small and this well priced has got plenty of upmarket features. And well priced, by the way, in this area of the market means you could probably own this boat for less than $100,000, depending on where you bought it and how you specify the fixtures and fittings. But remember, you can spend the same amount again every year on mooring and fuel and just pootling about close to shore. It does have a bedroom, this, but it's not a huge boat. We could handle this.
We consider that boat a pocket yacht, very, very flexible. It's available with inboard or outboard engines, and is the last of a family of boats produced by FB Design in the range of 27 feet.
This, as we say, is considered small in the boat world. Go to Monte Carlo and you'll find yachts with bigger tenders, which are winched up over the stern if the owner ever decides to go for a little cruise. His name will probably be Abramovich, by the way, or King someone, because you need that kind of cash to own a boat you'd want to spend a week on. But if you want to see what a truly over-the-top yacht can be like, you need to look at the world of professional golf. It's Google time again. Just ask for Greg Norman's yacht and you'll see what we mean. That one has got a 40-foot tender and a 20-foot diving skiff, plus a 15-foot rescue boat and 4 jet skis and a load of other stuff we needn't mention. And of course the amazing thing is that he thought of it long before the Russian mafia got their water wings organised. So a boat like this is pretty much it for us lottery louts, and we've got to say that 100 grand on a trinket like this seems just the kind of money we should be looking to spend if we only have a few million in loose change. Better still, Emotion is a pretty new company with a new attitude and way of doing boating business, so they'll give you the same sort of attention you get from your Bentley dealer, and you don't have to go to Abu Dhabi to find them. Malta is the first of several European bases to be opened in the near future. Apparently, European boat ownership is a pathetic 1 person in 700, where it's closer to 1 in 50 in the USA. So this could well be a lucrative market, with or without the occasional lottery winner popping in with a cheque. And they do make bigger ones than this if you really have hit the jackpot. Of course, you may be one of those people who gets river sick and is unable to entertain the idea of